Tell your son to go and do his service. It's an obligation he owes to his country.
Now you're broken my phone.
Who broke your phone?
Every graduate under the age of 30 must do a 1-year service for his country.
Service does not kill. It's just a national duty.
I want to drive into camp. I'm a prospective corps member.
Dear fellow corps members, I hope you've all been enjoying your orientation camp experience.
If you do not provide that person right now, you all will go in for it. Why are you stalking me?
So not even a single thank you.
This orientation camp is fun, entertaining, and also educative.
You are all white fowls.
We are all white fowls.
I just want to become the governor by all means.
We'll put hands together to give you free education!
My son needs to get the Ncdc discharge certificate, no matter what it takes.
Nysc scheme is an institution of integrity and honor.
You are not allowed to appear in a campaign rally, that too with your youth corps uniform.
There's been controversy surrounding the governorship aspirant for GPN, John Osai. Did you or did you not serve?
And here is my Nysc discharge certificate.
That's my son. I knew this boy would never let me down.
Today is a special day for you and this community.
Someone saw you dragging this man into a black BMW. Now we can charge you for kidnapping, and you know it carries a death penalty.
I'm not afraid of you. You are not afraid of me, but you should be scared of me.
I love you, Abidi.
I love you too.
It can never work. Never!
John, you're married. Nobody made that decision for you.
They arrange this place for another person to marry. You don't know that it can be us.
Okay, go and bring my 2,000 naira. What do you think all this one move me? We are the movers and shakers of this world.
General, salute! Salute!
Wow, a call to service. You definitely need to watch out for that one. Now, don't forget, this movie is premiering this Saturday on the 4th of December, 2021. Watch out. Hello, and welcome to today's episode of NYSC Half Hour. I am Coco Hencher. On today's episode, we speak with the head of communications in the National Center for Disease Control, NCDC, as he highlights the synergy between the NCDC and NYSC in sustaining a COVID-19 free orientation camp. Come with us.
We understood where we were last year before September, and the whole world was locked down, and then there was no hope that any economic activity will resume soonest. But thank God for the knowledge of the protocols, which were also implemented, applied to the orientation camp. Based on that, the camps reopened. And I would like to congratulate the NCDC and the NYSC for this collaboration that has produced this sustained NYSC orientation. And beyond that, there are other lessons we've learned and that we're now using for other activities. And I will mention that as we move on. And things we put in place first and foremost is to ensure that every corps member coming into the camp is screened. And so that means that you have a negative status before you go into the camp. Although we understand the concept of incubation period, whereby somebody might be negative, but a few days down the line, it may now be positive because he may be harboring the virus, which may escape detection at entrance. And that is why we have this testing team on ground throughout, and the corps members are sensitized and to report if they have any symptoms. In case you see people who eventually become positive And that's why we encourage everybody, and it's not just encouragement, this is enforced, that they use their face mask and they provide water all over the campuses, and they encourage social distancing to break the transmission of this virus for those who inadvertently may become positive. I think that is what has really happened, that we've been able to have a sustained orientation since last year, October.
Dr. Disu emphasizes on the Safe Camp reopening webinar and its impact so far.
The first reopening, there was no webinar, but we realized the importance of communication, information, and preparing people before they go into the camp. So the essence of the webinar is to prepare them in anticipation of the activities they will see. You know, before COVID-19, everybody has a view of what NYSC, opinion of what NYSC camp is going to be like. Even me, when I was going for youth service, I've discussed with colleagues, senior colleagues, people who have passed through it, my senior brothers, everybody. They've told me it was going to be fun, blah, 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 blah. But with COVID-19, so there is this fear that, fear of, we will not catch our phone again. 2, I'm at risk of getting COVID-19 in the camp. So we need to, first and foremost, reassure them that it's going to be a safe orientation that is based on their own cooperation, that for them to know all the measures that have been put in place, for them to be able to cooperate and to know who to ask questions in case there is any challenge. And then the modification that has been made or adjustment that has been made to the procedures in the camps were also communicated to them. And so that way they have anticipation of what they're expected to see. So getting there, it makes it easier for them to enjoy the camp.
He also elaborates on the new COVID-19 variants and the measures put in place to mitigate the spread of the virus in orientation camps.
The good thing about the variants we've been recording, the same protective measures applies, work for all of them, right? So the only thing that varies from one to another is rate of transmission and then severity. But once we can comply with the preventive measures, then we are safe. And that is what we need to re-emphasize. We know that variants will always come, new strains of the virus are expected to develop or to evolve. But what is more important for us is how compliant we are with this procedure, particularly with vaccination now. So far, vaccines have been proven to be effective against all variants, even though this Omicron variant is still being studied to check how effective the vaccines can be against it. It's still too very early for us to understand how resistant it could be to the vaccine. But then for now, I think the only way for us to prevent any variants from even developing is when all of us are vaccinated, we quickly defeat this virus as soon as possible.
Dr. Disu Yaya educates and advises the general public, especially the core members, on the preventive measures for COVID-19.
Core members should remember to wash their hands regularly, physical distancing, use of face mask, and then more importantly, the vaccine now, because the vaccine is actually the magic bullet that will bring this to an end. And we, in collaboration with NPACDA, NYSC has also made an arrangement to ensure that they have vaccination sites on the orientation camps so that the core members can be vaccinated. So this is not the time for them to start spreading misinformation about vaccination, and then they should take it, and then they should also be a vessel for others wherever they are serving, for them to be able to have the knowledge of the benefits of this vaccine for them to take, as well as complying with the public health and social measures to prevent COVID-19. The success of any intervention is based on 3 factors, maybe more than that. First thing is the evidence that that intervention will work, so that you're not using the wrong intervention. Then the second one is proper application of it, which is what we're also doing in the camp. The third one is the compliance with the people from that end, with the people. The camp officials, the core members, the military men who are in the camp. And you know that camp environment is a disciplined environment. That is what has actually made it very, very easy. It's easier to enforce compliance in the camp. Instantly, they can threaten that core member of is it decamping or I don't know, whatever it is, or they might ask the person, Ajuwaya, stay in the sun for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. You know, you can see graduates that they won't like to be embarrassed in such way. So that way, and I think that has really worked. And then each time I go into the camp to monitor compliance, implementation of our interventions, I'm always impressed. And then even we also have case management team on ground in case there is any incident, and they quickly take them to the treatment center. And that's the work with the State Ministry of Health to ensure that these call members are properly taken care of. This includes the vendors working in the camp, and everybody is screened before they go into the camp. The vendors working in the markets, as in the camp markets, and then doing other stuff, doing other things around. Everybody is screened and everybody is expected to comply with this protocol. Nigeria serves, Nigeria we
serve. You have heard it all. With all the measures put in place by the NCDC and NYSC to ensure that the NYSC orientation camps are safe. Now, notwithstanding, we all need to do our own parts. Wash your hands, wear your face masks, and let's get vaccinated to stay safe. Stay with us. We will be right back.
The NYSC Director General bags Award of Excellence from Alma Mater. The National Youth Service Corps Director General, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, has been presented an Award of Excellence by the University of Jos Alumni Association. This, the university said, was in recognition of his tremendous achievements since assuming duty as the 18th Director General of the National Youth Service Corps over 2 years ago. Speaking during the award presentation, the University of Jos Vice-Chancellor-designate, Professor Ishaya Tanko, extolled the sterling leadership qualities of the Director General, adding that UNIJOS has been observing his transformational achievements in the scheme. Corps members have been urged to utilize the opportunity of the 3-week orientation course to cultivate long-lasting relationships, teamwork, and also promote the unity and integration of the country. The NYSC Director General, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, gave this advice during a nationwide virtual address to the 2021 Batch C Stream 2 prospective corps members and camp officials. He urged the prospective corps members to take the orientation course seriously because of the benefits it offers, which include leadership training, teamwork, tolerance, discipline, entrepreneurship, among others. The Director General also advised the prospective corps members to obey the rules and regulations in respect to their respective places of primary assignment when posted, adding that the scheme would not condone any act of indiscipline, as every infraction would attract sanctions as stipulated in the NYSC bylaws.
Welcome back. Our next story, NYSC takes us to the first ever edition of Value Clinic for Sustainable Development in Nigeria. This initiative is anchored on 2 sessions of the 1999 Constitution, which is meant to empower and improve the standard of living of Nigerians. Stay back and enjoy.
We acknowledge that most of the activities under the SDGs are driven by the exchange of value for value by citizens in their private businesses. Thus, a breakdown of value or cessation of value creation pose the drive for SDGs in jeopardy. And I'm glad at least we have the rector of Urban Director with the Satellite Town Development Agency of the FCDA, will be able to speak to some of these issues. This creation may be caused, this cessation of value may be caused by endemic challenges of fiscal justice. And by fiscal justice, we mean the taxation process, accountability, and all that. Human factors. If we don't create value to achieve the SDGs, we can't earn the revenue to fund the SDGs as we ought.
If we look at the Sustainable Development Goals, the book that is going to be presented really uses the Sustainable Development Goals as a background. And that Sustainable Development Goals covers everything that one will seek to achieve as a nation, as an individual. And those goals are stated in the book, which seeks to end poverty in all its form everywhere. And then secondly, end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Now, I'm looking at these two. It's obvious since I'm from the Federation of Agricultural Commodity Association. And I'm sure that if just these two goals are able to be achieved or overcome, I'm sure the rest of the goals definitely will be achieved. Therefore, to achieve goal 1 and 2 under the SDGs, agricultural value chain is very, very important. I'm glad to see the good representation from the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, because they play a great role towards achieving this goal of food security. Employment is another key area. That is goal 8 of the SDG. Agriculture currently employs about 35% of the Nigerian workforce. This is a reduction from the over 50% previously in the past. Curiously, no sector actually has absorbed the 15% that has been lost to agriculture in any significant way. So what happened? Unemployment. Without unemployment in a capitalist agricultural good, in a capitalist economy, then there is an issue.
NYSC was fully represented at the Value Clinic, and Prince Mohammed Momo, the Director of Ventures Management of NYSC, made mention the contributions of the scheme to the nation's development.
The National Youth Service Corps partnered with United Nations Millennium Campaign Office in Nigeria for my work survey. And in 2023, because of the outstanding partnership that we had, the scheme was recognized by the United Nations during their conference. So the scheme has been involved and is still involved in grassroots-oriented programs. And you know, we are able to do this, one, because we have the coverage. A core member is found in all the local government areas of this country. Two, we have the human resource, which are young graduates of under 30 years that with little training, they are able to get whatever skill you want them to and be able to discharge whatever responsibility you are able to give them. In addition to that, we have offices in the 774 local government areas of this country. With that one, the scheme is positioned to partner with any organization in the implementation of grassroots-oriented program. It's good, we know that. And this we have been doing. The scheme is involved in some project strengthening activities to ensure that it succeeds, and core members are the tools being used. Equally too, in the Empower, core members are being utilized to capture the data of the people. And there's no need me telling you that a lot of the transparency we are seeing even in our election is a result of the inclusion of members of the National Youth Service Corps in what is happening. And we realizing that, we knowing that they are giving much to the country during the course of the national service, we are also creating opportunities for them for their post-service livelihoods. And you know, TUC was talking about giving them skills. Let me tell you that we have a skills acquisition department which was established in 2012. And prior to that, under our involvement in the MDGs, we had a program that we started in October 2010 called the War Against Poverty Program, targeted at the MDGs ones, that's eradication of extreme poverty and hunger, where core members are trained in 7 agro-enterprises, because agriculture presents mass opportunity for employment. So we will train them, empower them, and they will go out there and establish their enterprises. And they are more of social entrepreneurs because they are not tasked with also not only employing but training members of their business host communities. We ran this program from 2010 to 2015. I was the first desk officer, and as at the time I left that desk, that was in partnership with the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on MDG. She's now the Deputy Secretary General of United Nations, Aja Amina Mohammed. We're able to empower 3,000 corpers with nothing less than 660 million naira then to establish their businesses, which they were doing.
At the workshop, some stakeholders and core members commented on the contributions of the NYSC in the promotion of peace and sustainable development.
The participation of the youth corpers is also to actually enable them to understand that each and every one of them has a potential that can actually contribute for nation building. And how do we add that particular value to what we sell and what we do? And how do you also create such value? We also identified some of the challenges that affect this particular value chain, production, as well as supply of such values and consumption. First of all, looking at the superstructure, which is the political environment as well as the overheads. These overheads that are actually paraphernalia, for us to have in a society before we are able to add value or create value. So in a nutshell, we are referring to the enabling environment that will actually allow our teaming youth to be able to add value to businesses, to professionalism, to contribute, for rebuilding as well as incremental process of nation building. So these are some of the reasons, the rationale behind having this particular value clinic in order to sensitize as well as share knowledge, among various stakeholders, ministries, the NYSC, people from the housing sector, from agriculture, as well as from educational institutions.
Perhaps one of the most exciting aspects of this clinic is the participation of NYSC, because the core members, they are the leaders even of today, not just tomorrow, but let's just say they are the leaders of tomorrow. And as you are aware, NYSC itself is all over the country. That means we already have a workforce that can be deployed from day one to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. So they have added value to the process, and we trust that it will not end there. In practical terms, we will be working together to ensure that those things we have deliberated upon and have decided, we are able to achieve them for the benefit of all Nigerians.
Well, I believe that this is the first value clinic here about sustainable development in Nigeria. So as the first, it's good, but I believe that there's so much work to be done, because every organization here spoke about what they do, not quite how they implement what they're about. They spoke about what they're about, but not how they implement what they're about, or results in different states, so how we can see what they do. So I think that going forward, it's important to talk about what we do, but also how we implement it and the results that can be shown.
We have our own part to play, especially as we are in direct contact with grassroots, and we're directly involved and have been given opportunities for grassroots development through the NYSC. So we, in each of our works, in all of our walks of life, which cuts across all of the walks of life, have the opportunity to be able to implement changes, to initiate in a little way programs for implementing the Sustainable Development Goals, and it's really exciting.
I've gained a lot, and of course, attending such clinic, you get to learn that yes, there are many opportunities, and of course, there's still hope for this country, unlike what we do here, instilling fears in us, especially with the core members, that there's no job out there, and as well, the society is not like the way it presented itself before us. But actually, with this kind of clinic value, we believe that yes, there's still hope in this country, and of course, we'll play our own part to make sure that we impact positively to change the narratives.
Nigeria serves, Nigeria we serve.
Welcome back. That was indeed a lot to take in. It's good to see the NYSC working with so many organizations to contribute to the nation's economy and also provide solutions to the challenges of our time. It is super amazing to see what the NYSC has achieved so far with the aid of core members. Thank you for investing your time with us on today's episode of NYSC Half Hour. We always love to hear from you. Please write to us on the online handles displayed on your screens, and we would write back. Remember, the safety of core members in our communities is the responsibility of you and I. Until I see you next time, I am Coco Henshaw.